Here is the second time I am recording this video. A video, pertain to a lot of issues, but in this video, this is just for time, date purposes. That's all there is to it. I will be discussing to you issues. Issues like concerning this cretin here that you see. He's got this tube in his nose that you see right there. That's what he is sleeping with. And I will be also discussing about other issues pertaining to the same cretinism as you see here. Disease. We're going to talk about disease. We're going to talk about American disease. It's going to be more about American disease. First, let me do some translation for you in respect to this article here. We're going to talk about American sickness in this video. I am not going to be reading this to you. This is the second time I'm video recording. The first video which I recorded, I'm not ashamed to say that I use extremely rough language and even fists and stuff like this. It's not that I would deem inappropriate, it's just strategically probably I would say for this point in time it's not the best thing for me to do that. You're gonna see why. It concerns a lot of people. In my case, there was at least 5,000. You heard me? There was at least 5,000, no less than 5,000 American police officers involved. You understand? 5,000 police officers directly involved in this, at least. Let me translate this for you.
I go to sleep with a tube in my nose, and when I wake up, I've already had breakfast. Polish politician speaks openly about his illness.
It's a revelation. It's Polish, and he speaks openly about his illness. I had at least, in this case, at least 1,000 people involved who procrastinated their death, either their death or illness, for which they claimed me that I have. Yeah, okay, that's it. Some survived, some supposedly passed away. For many I know they did not. And every either death or illness that was advertised on the Yahoo since 2018, on the Yahoo, on the main page of the Yahoo, whether that be illness, whatever, cancer, whatever kind of problem there might be, or death, they announced was involved in MKUltra. That's why I refer to the guy as cretin. 5,000 police officers from the United States of America. That's a huge fucking number. Huge. Huge, giant number. Needless to say for me, right? You understand my feelings about this. That the United States of America did not only go to privatize this case, I saw it. I saw the videos that popped up from American police about making whatever, control checks, traffic checkpoints, stopping people for offenses, etc., etc. Based on MKUltra, I have seen they were using double cameras, one with a timestamp, and simultaneously at the same time they were using also a camera without a timestamp, which gives police the ability to modify date, time, etc., etc., etc. And I did explain to you about many, I did not point it out everything, but many, great many incidents involved police rehearsing over and over incidents. That means they faked the incidents that you get to see as like a real-time camera, like real-time cam, like traffic stops, exciting stuff. Much of it I did not disclose about many incidents where I left the dot under the video, but I can say there are many, and this is just a little tiny percent that I have seen it. They were choosing police officers for this type of crime based on what they demanded from me to acknowledge as a good police officers, opposed to bad police officers. Bad police officers engage directly into a physical violence, not only psychological but also physical. Bad police officers and good police officers were involved in, just as in Slovenia, were involved in dispatching, distribution to MKUltra locations, to the subjects whom they have involved, whom the US government involved, for the purposes of torture, for the purposes of psychological and physical torture. Each of these subjects had good and bad. The good was that they shared some here and there information about themselves in between the lies. Some had more lies, some had less lies. And the bad you already know. That's basically a torture. Torture through trauma-based torture, through sleep deprivation, cardiovascular burnout type of torture. Torture that is designed to foremost cause physical injuries. I should say extend physical injuries which are inflicted repeatedly over and over on body into well, because this is what the sleep deprivation does. Sleep deprivation, it's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go sleep, it's supposed to live normally life. And if somebody is raping you, forcing you with extensive stay up, he doesn't even have to poison you to cause you a damage if you already are poisoned, you know, to basically develop autoimmune type of problems and or a complete kidney failure, which is my case. Now in this case, what you're gonna see a guy, just as I already presented you, talking about his illness, his problem. This guy was involved in this stuff since 2008. Earlier I made a video, I came up to 2014, 2008, blah, 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 blah. The thing is, this guy was involved since 2008, and he got involved in a case through Kaczynski. Literally through Kaczynski. This is a Kaczynski Podmladek. He is he had this type of disease. This was extremely polite guy. Extremely polite guy, who, however, over course of the time, in order to remain inside, obviously inside of the Polish government, to get inside of the Polish government, became more and more abusive, more and more abusive. This is more and more molesting. Molestation is the most proper word that I can use to refer to all this stuff. Molestation. Molest doesn't mean only sexually. Let me demonstrate you something here. Yeah, all through it's mostly interpreted as a sexual thing. Molestation. This is a procedure that applied to me. Is pestering, harassing somebody in an aggressive, persistent manner is exactly the stuff that we are talking about. Once the person is traumatized, exhausted to the bitter end, that barely can stand up on his feet, is suffering a great health damages, it's time for the pestering, harassing in an aggressive, persistent manner, with also occasional use of physical violence, extreme violence, such as subduing you down on your getting you down completely. Or police officers who met me in the police station, they loved nothing more than to twist fingers. And at one point in time, this finger that became permanently damaged. Maybe something is broken inside, but when Charles learned about this finger, who witnessed this type of mistreatment, he was laughing about it. You know by who the people are when they don't even wish you to have a kidney, and you're supposed to be worried about their health, whatever it pertains to them. They're breaking your fingers, kidneys destroying you, and so on. They don't care about a fucking thing that pertains to you. As a matter of fact, they like that. Those are probably not your friends. I forgot to ask the guy at the police station about that stuff. It wasn't one, it was three of them. You know, next time when we meet, and we're gonna talk about that stuff too. Their specialty was to just go for the hands and just twist the fingers, that kind of stuff, break them basically. You can get killed during MK Ultra like this, like it's a joke. If you do happen to hurt somebody during MK Ultra, they kill you on the spot, or they just hurt you, and then it's the police that comes, and before you get to the conscience, they throw you in the jail. You wake up inside of the jail, and they are writing the report. This is MK Ultra. This is what MK Ultra is. That's why it was no other way to do it than the way I did it. This stuff. Now we are talking about American police here. We're talking about American involvement in this video. This is more about United States of America. Something I don't like to do at all, because it totally is destroying me. It's completely destroying me. It's taking away everything from me. It's completely destroying me, and is something that I have to do, that I don't have the choice. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, all these politicians with the George W. Bush family, Clintons. I wouldn't even call Barack Obama a president of the United States of America. That's a total fuck up. But Jimmy Carter, all this garbage that was involved in it, with the U.S. Congress, for no less, is involved in it for no less than 53 years, of which 48 years was MK Ultra case. That's what we need to talk about in this video. Let's continue about this stuff here. I did explain to you about this issue. That's the title of this stuff here. What's going on here now? Okay.
I go to sleep with a tube in my nose, and when I wake up, I've already had breakfast.
I found
Polish politician speaks openly about his illness.
Yeah, this is what I found on the MSN Polska today. This kind of stuff, and I don't know how far am I gonna have to. Yeah, this is a very long article. This is truly long article. I'm not into this stuff here, but the Polacks started to insist that this is the problem that I have. Relatively late, they started to insist me in 2014 that this is the problem that I suffer from. And it does not make any fucking sense. Absolutely does not make any fucking sense from the point of view that the way the Polish animals presented themselves into this case was done in such a way that like we know what you have, do you fucking know what the fuck I have? You were involved in poisoning my entire life, and do you now know what the fuck I have? Are you serious? That's how smart you are. You are involved in it my entire life in poisoning. Listen, you don't have to poison directly, which in Poland you greatly did. With one of the things I know, you use the salt. You use the salt to poison. Horrifically in Poland. But you don't even have to be involved in poisoning to poison people. See this here? Do you see this here? This is poisoning here. This stuff here. Yeah? If you know the guy is poisoned and you don't allow him to sleep, you don't provide him with the assistance to clear his organism, and instead you continue to engage in horror like this, in this kind of stuff for extensive periods of time, at times letting one days without a sleep, or giving 1 hour, 2 hours a day sleep in between the torture sessions, till he actually collapses from exhaustion. That's actually a horrific way to poison. Yeah, you are creating autoimmune problem on an individual, and that's all there is. And it doesn't matter how resistant, how strong that individual, eventually you're going to collapse him down at one point in time. So that's crazy statement, and very provocative. I found this shit very provocative stuff. To talk to somebody that you know what he suffers from after being involved in active poisoning for his entire life, and just because you're from another country, who the fuck you think you are, Polacks? I will explain in this video who you are. Let me first do a little bit reggae quack quack. Yeah, they demanded from me to see myself in this. They insisted that this is what it is, that this is the disease. They know, etc., etc.
I can drink coffee. I can't imagine life without it, because I really like it. In fact, I can also eat my favorite soup, says MP Adrian Wiczak. I've had 4 intestinal resections, and absorption is lower than in a healthy person, but for pleasure, during periods of remission, I can eat almost anything. However, I still insert a tube through my nose into my stomach at night and feed myself that way. Adrian Wiczak has had Crohn's disease since he was 14, and uses enteral feeding through a tube every day, which allows him to function despite major intestinal resections. Thanks to nutritional treatment, he was able to return to social and professional life. Today he is a member of parliament and advocates for people with chronic conditions. He founded a team for nutritional treatment in the Sejm. Campaigns for better access to therapy and support, including psychological and physical therapy, and promotes the idea of post-rehabilitation. Adrian Wiczak has had Crohn's disease since he was 14. It's a chronic inflammatory bowel disease that can affect any part of the digestive tract, but most often affects the final part of the small intestine and the beginning of the large intestine. Its causes are not fully understood, although genetics, immune system dysfunction, and stress are suspected. Symptoms include diarrhea, abdominal pain, weight loss, fever, and general weakness. The disease
I am going to put it this way. I'm not surprised. I'm not going to go on with this stuff here. I'm just not surprised the stuff that I see here. This stuff is happening. Maybe he's going to choose to have a funeral the day when I die or something like that. This is fucking amazing. I have seen a lot of stuff in my life, but I have not seen anything like this. I was taught that British royals are going to have all kinds of diseases when it's going to be my turn to die. I was told when my family members are going to be dying, it's going to be all about the royals suffering, health problems, etc., etc. And you cannot help yourself but to notice that these people didn't really have any kind of health problems until I started to talk about the health problems. Their life was health problems free. For the last 100 years we didn't hear about any kind of health problems. Their health problems, their health dilemmas just started recently. In terms of last few years, they started to brag about the health problems with Catherine Middleton, health problems, and Charles is health problems. We don't have about this health problems. These people were health problems free. It's also interesting the way I talk about their health problems. They have experienced these health problems already way earlier. Defense is with a silence. They don't say absolutely anything about it. I'm going to put it this way. I would not even talk about this scum anymore because it makes no sense to talk about the scum. It's like you talk about the Putin or you talk about the Russia or whatever you talk about. When it's firmly evident that it's a scum, scum is a scum. You can talk all the fuck you want about the scum. Scum is a scum. You're not going to change anything about the scum. The only thing that you can do is you can scum yourself with the scum. That's all there is. The more you talk about the scum, the worse situation gets for you. It's the ultimate scum, though. Let me put it this way, because this is not what this is dedicated to. My family members included were using a crime technology involved in MK Ultra. He wanted to be inside of the Polish Sejm. I was brought to the Sejm oftentimes. This goes to show how criminal this Polish Sejm is. But, you know, then at the same time, it was the same thing with Israeli Knesset or with American U.S. Congress or with the U.S. Congress, any kind of parliament. Whatever goes inside in there, it doesn't come out. If it's confidential, it's just confidential, and it doesn't matter what political party it pertains to. It's organized crime, it's simply organized crime. Organized crime, each country calls on a highest level, they call it parliament. And it's even questioned what exactly is inside of the parliament, because you do have this intelligence community and you have all kinds of other mechanism they're using inside of their countries for the state security, etc., etc., etc. So who these people are inside of this parliaments, etc. You know, it's questioned, but it's important for me to stress that they knew it, they saw it. This garbage knew about my health situation. That's why I call him a garbage. There was all kinds of people involved in this stuff, and cancer patients and Auschwitz survivors. Auschwitz survivors. How would I relate to Auschwitz survivors? Very, very difficult. I have a great difficulty about the Auschwitz survivors. I have a great difficulty about Auschwitz survivors because in real time, whenever I would meet these survivors from these concentration camps in Slovenia or whatever, when I was a child, I had a great respect for these people. Extremely difficult. On the other hand, they had no respect for me. One of my teachers was a concentration camp survivor. I found it to be a heavy duty, the most heavy duty mental patients. I found them to be the most corrupt people probably involved in MK Ultra because they were taking for granted that somebody like me is nobody and nothing, and a shit and nobody you can step onto and do whatever the fuck you want to and get away with it because you are simply Auschwitz or a Dachau survivor, and the whole society out there is there simply to bow down to you. That's Auschwitz, or that's a typical Auschwitz, or that's a typical Dachau survivor. Coming from both sides of the family, heavily involved in the partisan movement, one would even would have a difficulty to understand how the fuck did I found myself on this side of the story. Because Slovenia was not hiding behind Russia and behind the Serbian. They were not hiding behind Russia and Serbia only. They were also using as a tool, as a main tool for the extermination, for the genocide procedure. They were using neo-Nazi Germany, Hitler. Slovenia was not hiding behind neo-Nazi Germany, Hitler, but Slovenia put me the mask of neo-Nazi Germany and Hitler. So that's basically a global cause, a common cause of humanity. They were using like an ultimate tool to destroy me. They have two. They have Serbs they were hiding behind, and they have a major superpower, Russia, they were using to hide behind. It was a Russian extension that they would use to reach out wherever I would be. They were using British. They were using a British royals, a tentacle of the British royal family, British system they were using to reach out all the way to America, to reach out across the Europe, to intimidate, to corrupt, to negotiate, to I don't have a very high opinion about America. I think America is the same country that we have seen when America was based on a slavery, and I think this is the same thing. The deep state is still the country that America was founded upon. Things did not change. There's a big facade of time that America placed on display, but behind it all is still what America used to be on a day one. That's all there is to it. But the rest of it is, you go like in the circus, Alice in Wonderland, and then you go and have a wild guess and pick whatever ticket you want. They all go to the Rome. They all go to the same place. Since 2018, on Yahoo they advertised a lot of dead, a lot of ill people, all kinds of people who claimed me that I have exactly the same identical problems they have. And this is just another clown here that you see who did exactly the same thing, with Pollack's claiming me is for my colon cancer, etc., that kind of stuff. The thing is that I I cannot have respect for the garbage like this because of obvious reasons, right? I am not going to go into why this is a garbage and not a human being. It's other issues that matter. Why the garbage like this got access anywhere, and why is it that, you know, we have a politicians, police like this. This is what matters in this video, you know. In Polacks, the only thing that Polacks did, and it's a sad, it's a Poland, you know, Poland is Poland. Yeah, well, country is basically whatever, you know, I'm not going to say whatever the country can afford to dream, whatever, but the dream for every citizen around the world is a freedom, right? So, not necessarily even a freedom, I would say a national pride, national sovereignty pride. That's what every citizen wants to see himself in his country. That's how the people see themselves in it, right? So, in this case, we see a Polak, and I would not say that the Polacks learned this from Americans, or that British, you know, corrupt them, or whatever the case might be. I'm going to say Americans and British definitely knew that they had no right to do the stuff like this to me. They absolutely knew it, because they extended support to the country, Slovenia, after it was very, very clear, very, very obvious that Slovenia inherited this case from first what used to be Josip Broz Tito, and secondary who inherited this case legally. They already had this all along since my birth, but secondary who inherited this case in 90, as soon as Josip Broz Tito died, it was Serbs, Belgrade, Yugoslavia, therefore, right? Josip Broz Tito passed away, and this case did not stop. This case continued. The second guardian was Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was the country ran by the Serbs, 100%. Those that decided about things in Yugoslavia were Serbs, nobody else. So that's a reasonable enough suspicion to not continue with this type of procedure, which United States of America, Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau investigation, however, have decided will continue with a genocide, with extermination procedure identical to the one Josip Broz Tito and previously also, or after Josip Broz Tito, Serbs continue to implement after Josip Broz Tito, such as Milosevic, Radic, Karadzic, all of them, every one of them, war criminals, all of them involved with Snežana Plaušić, etc., etc., etc. Everyone involved in this case. Espionage. Yeah? Americans were simply using me to redistribute espionage, to how can I say? They were using me for espionage purposes, and there is no greater espionage than meeting state officials and making deals behind the doors with these officials, with the state officials, or simply regular people. It's already a big deal if you can travel to the certain country and you meet certain people for whom you know they don't have, like in case of Putin, that you know they don't have a pro-Putin views, etc., etc., and those give you the interviews on how they don't agree, etc., etc. It's already a big deal if you can make agreement with the people like this, that you're going to meet them one day when it's going to be war, etc., etc. That's what the Americans were using me across. First was across the Soviet Union, then Soviet Union have fallen apart. It was for the purposes of coming war on Ukraine. Not to mention about espionage they did through the Russia, absolutely everything. And other countries such as Ukraine and entire Asia, they profiled every country in the Asia, all the Muslim countries, South America, you name it, Africa, every country. I think it's important to stress this issue. So this video, what we're discussing, we're discussing the issue in which you can see how far as a pro-American dog you can actually get in this lifetime. That's what we are discussing in this video. We're discussing in this video the issue it makes me feel that Americans went ahead and literally privatized this case, and this is not an ordinary case. It's a very difficult video. Very difficult video. Very difficult video for me to talk about every one of these issues, because if you have 10 million recordings, 10 million videos, and you get somebody like Joe Biden, Trump, Bush, etc., 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 that start to negotiate these issues in completely terms of their own, suggesting, well, it's not even possible to finish your case, talking about all kinds of people they involve in it, that there was so many people involved in it that they would have the problem if they would disclose the case, etc., etc. You know, it was about the Putin, then it was about American people domestically alone. Yeah, basically using this case literally to exercise coup d'état in the United States of America, to decapitate Constitution literally, and as an excuse, those more than willing to corrupt themselves in support of Trump. But this isn't about the Trump, you know. This isn't about the Trump. This is about other issues. This isn't about the Trump or even solving this case. This is about completely other issues. It's about using anything in this world that you can use, that you can say, oh, well, you know, I had a reason. You know, I'm not alone. There is 10,000 other people in the U.S. who did the same thing using this guy. So, you know, you understand me? That's what this shit is. This is about basically making out of nothing something humongous. This is about the United States of America, actually, what the United States of America is, how much United States of America managed to accomplish for me in return within 53 years. That's what this is all about. And what I see right there is really not encouraging. They continue to bombard with these videos, just as I described, police videos and videos about, or I should say news articles about, you know, this one's suffering from that kind of disease or that kind of stuff, etc., etc., etc. So basically what they're doing is they continue the support for the Serbia, for the Russia, for the Josip Broz Tito, and obviously the one that inherited Josip Broz Tito in so-called Yugoslavia, that's Slovenia. Completely indifferent support than the one they have provided for the Serbs, and they mention quite a few notorious ones, right? War criminals, Josip Broz Tito. Now, I just find it bizarre that you write about some certain people as war criminals. Justly so. I never supported Milosevic. I never supported, you know, Russian-Serbian influence, genocidal influence across the Eastern Europe. I never supported that stuff. It's just I find it bizarre that you seems like it's CIA, it's Central Intelligence Agency, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, you seem like you don't fucking understand what the fuck you're doing, do you? Because I am talking about Slovenia here a lot. Yeah, but we must never forget that Slovenia inherited this case from Josip Broz Tito and from Serbs, from what was known previously as Yugoslavia. And it appears, because you continue to bomb with this news, every article pertaining to the health issue or to the death of the individual, doesn't matter whether it was real death or it was a fake death certificate, every one of these articles since 2018 was involved in MK Ultra. You understand? Every fucking one of this. In fact, in this case, there must have been number as high as at least of, well, I'm gonna say 1,000 people that forecasted their deaths and or diseases they deal with, claimed that this is disease, the problem that I have, or I had no fucking problems, health problems, until 2018 recorded any kind of problems, 2017. I know nothing about any kind of health problems. Other than what I explained, these health problems popped up magically during MK Ultra, Josip Broz Tito. Contrary to this criminal, and contrary to all these articles that Yahoo, and Yahoo is not alone that is advertising this stuff. It's also other websites, all these general websites, all these problems that pertain to kidney, renal problems that I talked about. Josip Broz started this type of poisoning already when I was like 3-4 years of age, in form of retaliation, as he stated to me. Because if you're a bad boy, and then he would give me the pickles or whatever to drink this, which is preservative basically for vegetable or fruit to stay longer. This is the way they were doing with me. This is how it all started at the beginning. The one who got an idea about the poisoning, about this type of stuff, was Josip Broz Tito. Or maybe he got this idea from others. Josip Broz Tito had a problem with the kidneys and so on, that kind of stuff. He also had a problems with that. And so, well, it's a very, very difficult video to talk about. I mentioned the guy, the Polish guy, I called him a cretin, idiot, etc., etc., etc. It's not, it's an animal, really. I describe people from Auschwitz, Dachau, that I endorse them as mental patients. I describe you people with a cancer. Maybe they're not so mental patients. I don't know. Maybe the worst people that I came across in this case, in my case, were the people who suffered from spine injury. That was one lady nurse who was involved in it, also in MK Ultra, from South Florida Treatment Evaluation Center, where I used to work in Miami. She was completely insane. Second one, the craziest, several of them I saw were people with neurological disorder. The people that was sick on the nerves. You cannot fucking believe what kind of suffering that people suffer from. Well, the biggest sickness is when you claim that somebody who is not related to you in absolutely any way, and you do so that you could get ahead of other people, either on a surgery, or you would get ahead of other people that are waiting in line to get served by your health system, get some kind of a specialist, or even that you would get maybe ability to spend health insurance costs, time at some therme in the pool, heated pool, spa I should say, or at some resort that otherwise you would not get, or It would take time before you would get. Um, those were the biggest scum that I have seen. Basically, people who did have physical and injuries, mental problems they suffered from. You would not fucking believe how viciously they find the weakest person is a malat. What the fuck is the amalat? Let me demonstrate you. I probably am not using the correct word as shit. I get myself into hey, let's just say some kind of a secret object, something stone, precious stone, something that brings you luck, that is just out there, that's just a magic thing that you use and you skip all kinds of problems ahead of people. You serve faster, you get stopped on a traffic, whatever, and you are involved in this case, and you make a deal with the police that you gonna contribute to a schizophrenia, to a paranoia, schizophrenia, mental illness, psychiatric disorder on a targeted person if they just allow you to get away with a penalty or reduce the penalty, maybe imprisonment, etc., etc., etc. This is what these fucks were all about. These fucks that advertise their diseases, these fucks that advertise their incidents that supposedly were recorded with real-time cam, etc., etc. This is what these fucks were all about. That's what this shit, this is what this sold to the people, and well, in some cases, well played out. That's what this was all about. I will never forget. That's why I said, that's why I said that Americans, Central Intelligence Agency and Federal Bureau Investigation with the MI5, they know very, very, very well that, and they refer to him as a dictator Tito, as a dictator Tito. They refer to him as a communist dictator Tito. They label him as a horrific person. They label these people from Serbia as war criminals that committed war crimes on Balkans, etc. You knew that you continued, therefore, the case. Slovenia separated from Yugoslavia finally in 91. This was just in 1991, but you got to understand I was born in 1971 on December. So you don't actually have Americans, you don't actually have any kind of legal excuse for continuation of this type of extermination, genocide procedure. I have to inform you that from the legal point of view, what you're doing knowingly so, extremely stuff, hypocrisy, the stuff that you talk about North Korean, Kim Jong-un, and you talk about all kinds of dictators, that they are horrific people, and so on and so forth. And what pertaining to this case, you continue to do whatever Milosevic, whatever Karadzic, whatever Radic, whatever these war criminals of Balkans, together with Josip Broz Tito, were doing. You know that you, with the British Royals, that you continued this legacy, that you continued this to go, that you took matters in your own hands, that you actually assume all the responsibility to this crime with independence of Slovenia in 1991, that you decided that country which even became a NATO member and European Union member, that you not have failed to resolve, but you deliberately did not resolve this case, so this crime could continue to go, this genocide could continue to go on and on and on and on and on. that legally makes you completely indifferent from Milosevic, from Josip Broz Tito, and from other criminals that I mentioned. Well, things are actually much worse for America in that sense. They're much worse. Yugoslavia stopped the war with Kosovo finally in 2000. That makes things completely insane. Especially because I became a US citizen in 2000. I became naturalized citizen in year 2000. So you know that you are so fucking insane when you continue to enforce the policy of Milosevic, etc., etc. Even after the fall of Milosevic, the same regime, the same agenda, etc., etc. In year 2000, ladies and gentlemen, I think I was 29 years old. I don't know how old I was, right? But I think it was like, I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. About 28, 29 years old, right? So, you guys are fucking dead wrong. I might die in this case, but you guys are fucking dead wrong about the stuff that you do. Beyond criminal insane. All the Supreme Court judges were involved in this shit. Every fucking one of them. These are not the latest people that you have on display, but all the people prior to. The entire US Congress knew about this stuff. At least 5,000 American police officers, sheriff deputies were involved in this case. You know what the fuck is 5,000 police officers? You know what kind of enormous, humongous police force that is involved in it? Yet you simps, you twisted this stuff into exactly the same direction of mental illness, proofs of the mental illness. You're going to get proofs that something that you started for Josip Broz Tito, you continue with your legacy through Slovenia, who became known as independent Slovenia in 91, with completely identical, completely the same type of legacy, basically enforcement of what is known as a mental illness. Against all the rationale, against all the facts that I submitted, zero mental illness, you continue to enforce the mental illness program. You continue to prove the mental illness. The guy who was here from United States of America, it was not one, it was several of them, and they would talk in front of me directly to me, or they would talk in front of me indirectly. Therefore, directly to me, they would talk indirectly in front of other people, to me directly. Or they would talk indirectly in front of me with other people. Talking about, demanded me from that much about your videos that you put on the internet about the traffic stops and that kind of stuff. They were talking to me about, asking me about, they were explaining to me what, if I know what the crook cop is. And I say, yes, I know what a crook cop is. I pursued the law enforcement career. I could say pretty much I pursued the law enforcement career throughout my life. And I'm not sick, I'm not insane. I passed the examination for the law enforcement, for the corrections, etc., etc., etc. I did demonstrate these certificates and stuff. Yet they would not allow me to go anywhere, to do absolutely anything. I was interested in working in Border Patrol, wherever it was, FBI, yet they would simply build next to, well, the prelude in these videos I'm talking about was a forced unemployment. In America, they used to refer to that as unstable employment. Employment so fucking unstable employment that it was all the time about switching night for the day and day for the night. Lowest paid jobs, jobs for fucking nowhere, fake accusation for the stuff, and jobs are pretty much used for torture purposes. Complete financial fuck-up inefficiency, insane circumstances, torture next to work, during which I would be delivered, let's say, through the Wackenhut Corporation to the... I would leave from work, I would come home, I would get sleep. In the sleep, after maybe, I don't know, 1 hour, hour and a half of sleep, found myself drugged up at the location where I was working, and where I had to report back within a few hours to go to continue to work, just to be abused, tortured by my co-workers, transferred back to apartment, get up, shave, fucking go. This is stuff that you do, stuff like this, you are more insane, you are more radical even than the Serbs were. And you are doing this throughout the Wackenhut, you are doing this throughout elite security, you are doing this through every job I held in United States of America. So that means that we have an extremely high American radicalism, Satanism, Luciferism, huh? We have a Satan, Lucifer. We advertise on a TV, God. We advertise on a banknotes, in God we trust. But really the owner, our owner really is Satan the Lucifer, Satanism. Evil is what we do. We live out of plain fucking evil, causing people devastation, damage, injury in every fucking step of the way, and blame it for the fucking Russians and Serbs. Yeah, there was a history, there was certain history America has before America started with those filthy videos that I was talking to you about. Fraction I talked about. I did mention nothing about that. Practically nothing. I left the dots under the videos. Crime videos, I label them. For which American police officers, just like with everything else, treated the same like a psychiatrist, not even a police officer. I would refer to you as a psychiatrist. You suggested if I will be good to you, you will tell the truth. You also insisted me that you are doing this kind of stuff, torture to me, so that you can see if I actually know when that kind of stuff happened, if I can actually pinpoint out when those incidents happened, or possibly even identify the people. I'm having a serious doubts about your sincerity, even when it comes to ability to identify people from American law enforcement. 5,000 of you see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. That must be epicenter of the Satanism on earth. Yeah, but the way Americans do this Satanism is very, very different from Iranis. Let me explain how Americans do their Satanism. American is a very, very, very fine man. You know, American is a gentleman. I want you to think about the Richard Nixon. I want you to think about the Ronald Reagan. Or I want you to think about the funny George Bush, let's say. Or I want you to think about prudent, very logical, very rational, let's say Bill Clinton, right? Because every one of these fucks, clowns, have their own image they are using, right? Barack Obama has a different image. Everyone was we're gonna through and so on. Trump he has a completely different kind of image. Every one of these fucks have their own image, and this is what they sell to the people. That's why they are making things interesting, because the whole thing is one fucking show. The way they do this stuff is very, very gentlemanic way. It's very, very fine, very, very British. You know, I find this very, very Charles, very, very Andrew, very, very gentlemanic, you know, gentlemanic. The way they do it is, you know, they acknowledge you as evil, as the ultimate evil. In this world, you don't have to commit the crime to be guilty. You don't have to commit the crime to be fucking dead, to be more sick than the sickest person in this world. That you could get more sick than person with a brain cancer, with a skin cancer, with a fucking bone cancer, with all the fucking cancers together. including mental illness. You don't have to. You don't have to commit the crime. I told you about that stuff. You don't have to commit the crime. You just have to be. I guess in the United States of America, they are just, I don't know, overwhelmed by this kind of. It's a criminal country, like I said. It's a criminal country. But the way they do it is, another example I'm going to say, it's going to be Iran, let's say. Iran, let's take in one side, let's say Iran, and the other one I say United States of America. In Iran, I found politicians insane because they took no responsibility for the crimes they committed. In fact, they never take any kind of responsibility for the crimes they committed, and they become obligated, even outspoken about killing you. That's psychotic, basically, sick. No responsibility for anything. Gambling day after day after day after day. No responsibility for anything whatsoever, and you become guilty because they need somebody to be guilty, and they also need somebody to be killed. Because God wants it this way. Obviously, Allah wants it this way, that somebody needs to be burned, killed here and there. Now, in America, they do it very differently. America is a country, this is a democracy, this is a country of freedoms, this is a country founded on the liberties of the freedom and justice for all. It's a country of the opportunities. Endless opportunities. So they do it very, very differently. What they do is, they present you like a weak person, bad person, evil person, but they demand from everybody involved in it to see something good in you. Even if there is nothing good about you, even if you send them to the motherfucker land and you curse them out, they still demand from people involved in it, and that's what they pay. That's where the green dollars come out. To see something good in it. Anything fucking good in it. Okay? Why would they do this stuff like that? Why would America do this stuff like that? America is a leader of the world. America is a leader of the democracy. America is concerned for every one of you. America doesn't want anything bad to happen to any one of you, regardless of the crime you do. It's gentlemanic. America is hope for the world. America is, you know, only in America. What the fuck can I say? I am gonna start this song. I think it goes along very well.
Remember when you ran away and I got on
America
my knees
needs
and
the
begged you
image
not to leave
through which
because
America
I'd
portrays
overstep.
itself as
Well,
police officer of the world, and builds this kind of image through exactly patterns I demonstrated, I talked to you about. Always playing the bigger one, the wiser one, the smartest one. But really what's happening in the background of it all? In the background of it all is happening exactly what I explained in this video. It starts with a systematic forced unemployment, and that systematic forced unemployment, torture at work or torture purposes type of work, all kinds of issues, pay theft, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of insane stuff, the most insane stuff you possibly can imagine, extends into something else. They start to look eventually for the proofs, for the physical evidence of mental illness. Because this is the case they built from the very early, from the very beginning. In my case, they did this since my birth almost, since the Josip Broz Tito time.
Well, you just wait. They'll find you yet, and when
So
they
you
do,
see,
they'll put you
somehow
in the ASAP.
about Josip Broz Tito and Milosevic and Karadzic and Putin and all this insane, completely insane Russian lunatic. It's not even about the Kim Jong-un. I'm gonna pause that song a little bit. It was time when this song was extremely unpleasant, when the Swedish guy was playing to me. Based on MKUltra scenarios, they loved that song. Also, when I applied for asylum in Norway, it was the Swedish guy who came and he reminded me of that stuff. just before I was thrown into the psychiatric hospital. So Swedish do have, with Norwegians, they do have a great sense for humor. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that stuff, about the Sweden and Norway, that kind of stuff, about the Germany and so on. Well, you see, extensive medical record America built through positioning itself behind all kinds of issues. Now it's the war in Ukraine, it's always on the right side, and it's always a gentlemanly way, and it always depends on how you're going to do, right? It always depends how you're going to do. It was at work, was like this too. Even when I was thrown out of the Wackenhut Corporation, I was told already, before I was thrown out of the Wackenhut Corporation, if you're going to go by the Florida state, by the state where I went to complain about how I was fired and so on, together in front with Wackenhut employees, employers, and so on. Do not complain about this because this is going to go on your next job. You're going to go on your next job. You have to put the telephone number at every application. Employer calls. Yeah, he was fired. He was, and so on, and this and that. Hey man, I filed handwritten so many applications in America that my hand literally fall out. I wrote thousands of job applications handwritten, and thousands I wrote down typewritten on the computer as a mechanical engineering technician for the jobs like a valet parking, security officer, receptionist, shit type of jobs. You know what I mean? You have to list jobs where you were just 1 month or 2 months or even 14 days with the telephone numbers, with the names of the supervisors. And so it gets 20 jobs like this. It's got to be every fucking one of them written down. Make thousands of applications like this, and let me see you how the fuck you look. If you're ready to go inside of the psychiatric hospital, go ready to the psychiatric hospital. That's the American way. Made in America. Oh, you're fucking animals. You're fucking animals. You're absolutely fucking animals. You must be worse fucking animals than Russians, than the Soviets, than anybody was in this world. I don't know about any animals that will be so animals like Americans. And you're even more animals when you start to hide behind the racism, which just started in my earliest childhood, just that I illustrated on my website. Hiding yourself behind the black people, Latino people, all kinds of people involved in MK Ultra. Like I said, you don't even have to be guilty in this life. I mean, man, there I have seen a lot of stuff, but the Satanism, Luciferism that I have seen in America, what America is capable to do, I have never fucking seen. It's like you go in the fucking mouth of the Satan or Lucifer, is where you go to America. That's why this video has come, because this guy here that you represent so much, you would not fucking believe. With Donald Trump, with Joe Biden, with every fucking politician that you see, at least 100 of them demanded from me to see North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un as a friend. They demanded from me to see him as a friend because he read my blogs, is what they claim. Kim Jong-un had me many times in Korea. And Kim Jong-un oftentimes was a very nice guy. But Kim Jong-un, maybe he doesn't even want to be, but he's a dictator. I watched a lady 3 days ago, who complained about North Korean people being malnourished. They don't get enough food. And I don't mean fucking food. I mean food. Kim Jong-un was feeding me with a shark fins, which is illegal. I read the other day, because Americans published this. Americans, the whole collection, whatever they got from me, that's all the fuck you get to read through this case. They went literally using me. They went literally into the ass of what they refer to as the dictators, etc., to see everything about their home, how it is, and if it's logical, if it's normal, it's not normal, etc., etc. Sick shit. Sicker than sick stuff, man. Now I get to read my own fucking news on a fucking Yahoo and whatever journalists, American government was using, so-called journalists, to write the news about. This is not the point. Oh, there was a lot of torture in Korea. I had to pay for those shark fins, just like in not a... We go back to this stuff here. When you're in doubts, all you need to read is this stuff here that I wrote about. That's what you need to read, this kind of stuff. America got for the money they pay to Koreans. This is corruption. This is special favors in return. Kim Jong-un was entitled to whatever, etc. He said that's how they do the stuff. This is what this is. This is what this is. This is what this shit is. Or just, I don't understand. How can you write in your media that he's a dictator, that he is, I don't know what the fuck he is, and on the other hand, you label me as mentally ill through, I'm not going to say excessive torture, but what's the fuss about the Guantanamo torture or about the Afghanistan where you brought me to see those people tortured, other than you pose next to me? What exactly, what the fuck is it? What is it? What is it? You're fucking animals, one way or the other. You're fucking animals. You're American fucking animals. You saw me as an animal. There's no fucking reason for me to see you as not animal. You're fucking animals. You're not fucking people. You're fucking animal. Talking about fucking Americans, CIA or FBI or U.S. military, fucking animals. What's the fucking talk about Afghanistan torture and, I don't know, Iraq prisoner torture and Guantanamo, etc., etc. For somebody that have gone through much worse than that. Hey, come, where the fuck does this hypocrisy end? You write about Kim Jong-un, dictator this, or another dictator over there, or dictator here, communist this, communist that. At the same time, you're asking me, you're begging me to not talk about them because you need them for relation and I don't know what, etc., etc. I don't find fucking pathetic motherfuckers. On one side, you suggest me that I must see you as a friend, or that you will not recognize me. I had American here explain me do you know what the Rick police officer is? Corrupt police officer, you know. The corrupt police officer, Rick police officer. Yeah, I said, yeah, I know. Well, how many you think is a trouble? You think 2 is a trouble? You think 5 is a trouble? What's the biggest trouble? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Yeah, 5. Yeah. How about 10? Yeah. 10 is a trouble? Yeah. How about 50? Yeah, is it trouble? Yeah. It's a trouble, it's bigger. Yeah. Trouble. You think it's solvable if you have 50 of them? You think it's solvable to go 50 rich cops, 50 corrupt cops working together? You think it's solvable? How about 100 of them? How about 100 of them? You think it's solvable? You say, yeah. 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 Sebastian. But 150 of them. Sebastian or Bob. Robert. But 50 of them, this is the way it was. But 50 of them. Yeah, I didn't get what the fuck they were talking to me about. What the fuck they were talking about. But I know when I see those videos now, timestamp camera play, a rehearsal of the traffic stops. I know where the whole fucking thing is going. 150, but 150, Bob? 300, Bob? This is what they were doing. They were coming here, and this is the way they communicate to you during MK Ultra. Every psychiatrist, every psychologist. I didn't do any MK Ultra in my lifetime. How the fuck would I know all this stuff if I wasn't doing this kind of stuff? There's nothing written about MK Ultra anywhere anyways. There's some fucking movies that make no fucking sense to me. And frankly, I didn't even see any fucking movie to say whether they make me sense or not. But the stuff I'm talking about is the real stuff. This is real deal. What you see over there on the big screen, I don't even know what it is. I don't know if I could possibly agree with it, other than clowns being involved in it. Entire Hollywood in this. It's a lot of information I'm stressing at you, but little by little it's going to settle in your mind for you to understand. Some of you even to remind you about what the fuck I have gone through, what you have let me through. This isn't a fucking democracy, man. When you talk about some dictators, when you talk about some communist regime, oh, Fidel Castro, and I don't know, in Venezuela, in Colombia cartel, and Brazil cartel, and I don't know, many fucking problems, mucho problem, Africa, mucho problem, South America, fucking problem all over the place, fucking problem. Hey, if you're not going to be nice to us, Bob, if you're not going to be nice to us, you're not going to be nice to us, you know, you're not going to be nice to us, so what you're saying is I have to be nice to you. And you also said if it was the same shit with this kind of guy, with this shit here, with this crap, the same fuck, the same thing. The same shit. The same kind of stuff. Where the fuck is this guy? The same shit with this lolek bolek here that you see Polski. Same thing. Same shit. Same thing. I don't find, listen, nothing personal, I just don't find nothing more idiotic than you're suffering from something and taking pleasure out of causing somebody else who has a much greater health problem probably than you. I was probably dealing with a much bigger issue than this guy for the last 8 years. Since 2017, I was dealing clearly what it appears to me to be failing kidneys. And that's a big fucking problem, to be honest with you. What the fuck this guy knows about what is it to be thrown inside of the psychiatric hospital, motherfucker? You have no fucking ability to sleep on the right side because your heart is about to fucking explode. What the fuck does he know? What the fuck is it when you cannot walk? Strong as you are, you cannot fucking walk. Because of medication causing catastrophe inside of your liver, inside of your kidney, it feels like it's gonna fucking, your whole internal body, it looks like it's gonna fucking explode. Makes you feel like you wanna tear your skin apart and escape from your body. What the fuck this guy knows about such a pain I was dealing with, that I had a fucking oil dripping from my forehead from the pain. And I wasn't even walking anything, I was just laying down on a fucking bed and going on a fucking hallucination because of the fucking pain I had 24/7. You motherfucker, eh? What the fuck do this Auschwitz survivors know about anything? About what the Holocaust is? You motherfuckers, you don't fucking know anything. You don't know nothing about how the fuck it is to have failing kidneys, livers, and be loaded with the psychiatric medications if it was not a real poison. Asking your mother to fucking tie you on the bed because you're afraid you're gonna go fucking delirium from the pain. You understand what the fuck I'm talking about at all? Asking your parents, first time as you come out of the psychiatric hospital after 10 months to put you back in a fucking car and take you back to the psychiatric hospital because you are afraid that, I don't know. You understand what the fuck I'm talking about? And what the fuck I'm talking about is what I was told the case is gonna be before I was even thrown to the psychiatric hospital. You're gonna fucking talk to me about fucking what? Fucking bone cancer? Fucking Auschwitz? Fucking Dachau? What the fuck you gonna talk to me about? Fucking what? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you pose over there and smile, yeah, based on MKUltra scenario. I've been involved so much in your case. Showing me on the internet, not on the internet, but on the computer, his obituary, how it's going to look like an MSN or America Online or whatever website, because it's or Slovenians or whatever the fuck they go around this shit under suspicious circumstances in a parenthesis or whatever the fuck, to remind as much as possible of imitation of the schizophrenia. That's exactly what you Americans were doing. That's sad, because the methods are completely indifferent from those that Josip Broz started when I was a baby, practically almost newborn. This isn't about this shit here. This is about the fucking Polak providing clearance. He's hoping with his politicians, Polacks, Morawiecki, Duda, and all that other garbage, Kaczynski shit that you have inside of your Polish parliament, garbage as you are, Polacks. Trash. You always were anyways. This is about protecting this guy here. His mentor, Milan Kuchan. About this shit here. This is about one hand washes the other. That's what the fuck this is all about. That's what this shit is all about. This is what this shit is all about. Let me explain to you something. Scum. See this piece of shit? This one have a much better theory than this cretin here that you see right there. He had a much better theory together with the novo mesto in a parenthesis police officers, right? Police officers. With this cretin here that you see here with the Borut Pahor, with the Tanya Fayon, supposedly she has a cancer and so on. This cretin here, he had a much better theory together with the British Royals. That's why this kind of stories. They were laughing in my face. The first kidney is going to fail. Together with the psychiatrist Peter Kapsch. This was the story that went on for 40 years. 30 years. 35 fucking years. It was about driving me completely insane. Don't forget, the first kidney will fail. Don't forget, the first kidney always fail. So what exactly were they talking about? They were talking about the kidney transplant. They were making joke out of the poisoning. That's what the fuck they were talking about. That was funny. It's a funny thing to fuck somebody's kidney up. It's a funny thing. in 2012 when I was thrown to the psychiatric hospital. Psychiatrists and police officers both demanded for me to acknowledge that for the first few days when I was given the psychiatric medications, I was normal. But after 1 week or so, after 2 days, 3 days, they insisted me that they gave me something. That they caused me some kind of a damage. As soon as I came inside of the psychiatric hospital, they started to insist me. They hijacked me. They throw me on MK Ultra and they started to insist me that I was given some kind of poison, something. That I was destroyed as soon as I entered inside of the psychiatric hospital. Within the first week. Within the first days. In 2017, in 2018, 2017, the song changed. Every time, whenever MK Ultra would end, this sound that I have 24/7, blood pressure, whatever the fuck this is, it feels like you would be frying your, I don't know, kidneys or liver, or that you would have some kind of problem that would be something squeezed and would be going through like a vein or something like that, I don't know. Or that is somewhere some kind of something tumorous that is causing obstruction, blood flow. And this shit went always, this stuff went always for the last 30 years. This was during MK Ultra, this was omnius. No. I'm completely wrong about that. They started with this stuff earlier. They started with this stuff, I think like in 1988, when they were making some kind of film, movie, even earlier. And my voice during MK Ultra started to mutate. Like you would have people with the cancer that their voice is mutating, and it was during this it was during the recording of this movie here that it was the first time that I noticed that that my voice, just like on a movie, started to mutate. Totally mutate. Totally the way you listen the movie, the actors, my voice started to mutate. This was the first time. They were doing this stuff already before, but during the recording of this movie, whatever the hell this movie was, my voice started to mutate. This movie here. This was in 1987, 1988, 1987. This was the first time that my voice started to mutate, and it's interesting because the way this guy talks, and I couldn't get fucking rid of it. I couldn't get fucking rid of this voice during MK Ultra. I didn't know what the fuck they were doing to me, but this must be terrible poisoning. You must fucking terribly poison a guy that he hear himself talking almost through the ears. This shit, I cannot get rid of it in my head, this stuff. Yeah, okay, here it is, this here.
Or standing with 1 foot off of the ground, specifically because of this really terrible injury. In his fencing training,
they identify me as somebody that was looking for the princess. I will talk to you about that stuff here. I will talk to you about this. I will talk to you about Patricia Lamborghini. I will talk to you about all these Italian princesses and stuff like this, the way they video recorded themselves, stuff they did. Truly, truly disgusting. Super disgusting stuff.
You seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you. You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die. Begin.
Well, I can't kill people.
Do you hear this guy, the way he talks?
He got on himself. I do not.
Do you hear this guy, the way he talks? The big guy, the way he talks, the big guy? Well, I went insane during recording of this movie. This shit was completely permanent. I had a problem with Andre the Giant, the way he I didn't have the problem, but I didn't have any kind of problem with him. The way he spoke, it's molestation. Molestation is when you still get in the face of somebody all the fucking time, and you look for anything about somebody, whatever it is, so that you could use this to cause damage. And that's exactly what they were looking for, and I mentioned them about the way he talks, and before you know, I had a problem with this. So that means they were giving me some kind of something, whatever the fuck they give me, I don't know, but it's usually the people that have a cancer that start to mutate voice in such a way. That was 1987, as you saw it, maybe even 1986. Oh, now I got lost a little bit. Presence of this type of poisoning. This goes back to 1987, 1986. I didn't have any kind of stuff like this till my return from, let me think about the Poland. Yeah, in Poland I had a very serious problems with the eardrums also popping in and out, and I didn't know what the fuck went on. This is something that went all along during MK Ultra. I have a director of Novo Mesto Police explain me how to prepare the sardines, what kind of food is good for me. People talking to me during MK Ultra about sardines, garlic, next to the food, totally cancerous and deadly food, like let's say preserved cherries, which I went on to purchase. I think I bought 100 jars of the cherries, because they brainwashed me during MK Ultra that this is so healthy. And so when I came from Poland, I brought I think 100 jars of the cherries. It's actually, I video recorded this stuff. I'm not lying to you. And I bought the same thing the way they did. They brainwashed me. It's a honey that is going to cure you. Honey is going to cure you. I brought maybe 20 jars of the honey they put on the special. They were brainwashing me when they put the honey on special that you have to buy. It was impossible to tell what was because of the symptoms of this fucking problem that they surfaced, the stuff that went on during MK Ultra in 2017, to discern between what was lie and what was real. Because of so much violence, because there's such a degree of violence, it's impossible. In 2017, 17, they went on to tell me the same thing, like where the same thing went on as they threw me in the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Poli in 2012. We're gonna make it permanent. And they started to fuck with it, telling me they're gonna do a permanent damage or whatever the fuck is gonna be. But what's interesting is, this symptom that I have, it always went back to normal. When the MK Ultra ended, it would be again completely normal, everything. That's it. That's an interesting one. They talk anywhere from the cancer drugs to all kinds of drugs that they would be giving me. Spoke about that stuff. In 2017, they told me it's going to be permanent. And I was asking them, what have you done to me? What have you done to me? They were laughing in my face. Something we have done to many others. That's the question. That's basically the dialogue with the police station, with the people from the Novo Mesto police station, with the people involved in it. British royals did not have any kind of problems with that. It was necessary. It was necessary. Joachim Scholz, German Joachim Scholz. This is this piece of human shit here. This is this garbage here. It's not Joachim Scholz, it's Olaf Scholz, sorry. Joachim was also involved in it. Some Joachim German, I have to go over that yet. This guy here, this Olaf Scholz, he was all fucking thrilled. He was fucking excited. He was thrilled about this shit. He was thrilled about the poisoning. With Germans giving me ABC about what's healthy and what's not healthy to drink. You have a herbal tea, whatever fucking tea. But this, you are fucking around. This, you're making fun of the healthcare. You're making fun of the right to go to physician, to the hospital to check yourself. You're making fun of the poisoning, nevertheless. You're making fun of the killing people, basically. La commedia, la fucking joke about fucking killing people. Thrilled about the police stalking. Thrilled about the police attacks. Thrilled about the tactics of the Robert Golob, of Kuchan. Janez Janša, Lojze Peterle, criminals that supposed opposition of Milan Kuchan, thrilled about getting me killed. Because, as Olaf Scholz claimed, it's necessary. He was, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Stalking, police stalking, good. Police violence, good. Yeah, 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 good. Psychiatrist Kapsch claimed this has to be done this way because we were thinking about how to do this, but it has to be done this way. It can't be done any other way. It can't be done any other way. It has to be done this way. It has to be done this way because this is how he recalls through the trauma he recalls that because MK Ultra is a trauma. Otherwise he will not finish the case and he will not explain everything the way it was. Obviously 4 hours, 3 hours of sleep per day is good. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's very good, it's very good. But on the side, Olaf Scholz, you're not gonna finish this stuff. We already made the deal that one way or the other is gonna be, sooner or later, they're gonna close down on you, etc., etc. Yeah, it's gotta be like this. It's gotta be like this because it's a form of assistance. The attacks, stalking, obviously poisoning, permanent poisoning, that's basically taking your kidneys away, fucking throw them in a trash bin. It's good for you. It was all that now you're gonna get a new one. You're gonna get the new kidneys. So what kind of stuff the fuck is this? The first kidney is not gonna be okay. The second maybe is gonna be okay. No, it's not gonna be okay. The third kidney is not gonna be okay. Hey, I'm not even identified as a kidney patient yet. And you do like this to the person, you mentally kill him. My life was life of forced unemployment. Whenever employment was given, it was used for the torture purposes. And its savings were used to substitute what otherwise should be dedicated to the person through the Social Security, I should say through the social services, where you have the right to report yourself for the unemployment so that you get the unemployment money. That's 53 years. So why are you making such a violent argument to the person that you tortured for 48 years? Obviously that life is not worth to live for. If you are his ally, if you're his supporter. In fact, demand from me to get along with the police officers from Novo Mesto. We have people here from FBI, we have people from CIA walking all over the Novo Mesto police station, around, talking to the police officers, demanding for me to get along with them. Hey, that's fucking insane, isn't it? That's fucking insane. What the fuck is this? What kind of country the fuck is this? I'm not German citizen. I'm not a Russian citizen. I'm American citizen, naturalized citizen since 2000. And I was born in Slovenia as a native in Slovenia. I have 2 citizenships. But what exactly applies to me as the rights here in this case? Next to being used as a human experimentation animal, that you can do absolutely anything to, somebody that you do the stuff to, that you can prove that he's suffering from mental illness, what is my relation to America or to the Slovenia as far as the citizenship? That's what we are talking about in this video. I had enough of this garbage disseminating me. This news through the Yahoo, through this YouTube about the incidents, etc., etc. I had enough of that stuff. None of that stuff really applies to me. None of it. I have absolutely no connection to your police departments other than what I stated in this video. It was, in fact, your job as a police officer to prevent this stuff. 5,000 of you involved in this, you guys gonna fucking say that it's FBI and CIA that did this alone? Are you fucking serious? With 500,000 of Americans involved in this stuff, you're gonna fucking say that it was, mostly was a government people also, but you consider the percentage of the people, government and private people, this was an enormous number of government people involved in it. And the type of democracy that you present to the world, the opportunistically, the way you view the world as, basically. You see it through my eyes, basically, exactly through my eyes, the way you saw, you can do with the world exactly the way you did with me. And that probably does not help today the Ukrainian side. I don't want to have nothing to do when it comes to Ukrainians. Ukrainians were using the process to cause more harm, more devastation. They worked very, very hard to secure to America, to the British royals, more proofs about the paranoid schizophrenia, more about the mental health certification which British awarded me with Americans in with the Slovenian side also in 2012. In fact, I cannot even say British because I'm American and I'm Slovenian citizen. Shocks the fuck out of me that you will be working so hard for somebody like Robert Golob here from Slovenia, for Milan Kučan, for all these people. I'm shocked. America developed several different strategies in respect to newly acquired lands, in respect to newly acquired interrelations with the Russians, with the Chinese, etc., etc. One strategy America employed was by using people like myself to pose with in front of them, to demonstrate this side here, Russian side, my willingness to work for America regardless of injuries, pain and suffering America was capable to deliver through the torture to me. So they were using me literally to compete with the economists, with the Eastern European economists, with the Chinese, to demonstrate them how much is worthy for me as a non-government option, as an option that stand up to the Milan Kučan, to Golob, to Eastern European so-called communists, how much therefore they would have to match to see themselves as normal in respect to American and European Union, therefore German, British, French, Italian and other relations. You understand me what I said? I'm a non-government option, I'm a real option. Then you have an Eastern European communists option, Milan Kučan, Robert Golob, Borut Pahor, Tanja Fajon, Danilo Turk, Drnovšek, etc., etc., etc. Long list of the garbage of the Serbs in Slovenia. Long list of the Serbs in Slovenia. Serbs, Slovenian Serbs that presented here hijacking, killing of the native people, hijacking of the native people, and a sale of the Serbia, sale of the Slovenia to the Serbs and to the Russians. The Russians started to purchase here stuff. This option having a trouble earning, I'm not going to say a trust, only with Americans, British, French, and new partners, but having a problem with the people that pertained from here, that pertain to the non-government option, and the people therefore who did not want to have Serbs here, Russians. So now if you don't match this side, actually expectation of this side here with somewhat at least expectations of this side, then that's a big of a difference to fulfill. You have a problem. You as a foreign diplomat now have ability to pressure this side with issues of this side, because this side would, but you would not want to do anything with absolutely anything from this side. That's what they were using me for. That's why Americans, Germans, British, etc., continue to use me after the fall of the Soviet Union. And that's what the Russians were using me, Russian oligarchs were using me to portray their picture, their point of view, to the other picture, to the other point of view, as far as their expectation within the Russian state. There's many ways you can use somebody like myself, and that's exactly what I was used for. Secondary, what Americans, British colonizers were using me for was to demonstrate me, that's me here, to this side, about how dangerous this side can be without American cooperation with America. Do you understand me? Therefore, with a case, with a gravity, with degree of crime they develop. If you would not comply, if you would not cooperate with us, this crime comes out, you're in a big fucking problem. That's what Americans, British, Germans, Scandinavians, Dutch, Norwegians, Finns, Swedes, Spaniards, Italians, Canadians, Australians, New Zealanders were all using me upon the fall of the Soviet Union. Therefore, they were building a trust with Russia because they had exchange interests throughout the Africa and throughout the Asia, South America. Geopolitical interests. And the one under the war that continued to be under the pressure, obviously, was Eastern Europe, because of people like myself. So, this psychiatric case which United States of America built against me, since my earliest childhood together with the British oils, or through the British, through the criminal concern, you know, like a super factory, like a super giant factory of the genocide. Crime, organized crime. Switchboard, crime. Like Mount Everest of crime, like all the fucking crime. Everything goes through the London switchboard. Had a long history of the psychiatric abuse, of the torment, of the torture, and long history of betrayal, of the stabbing, Swiss stab from behind. The gentlemanic way, the gentleman way, that's American way. That's Uncle Sam. That's a gentleman. That's a FBI, see a gentleman's. It's a fucking Satans, Lucifers. Now you started to understand this point of view. And it seems to me that this American scumbaggery, this treachery, this Satanism, this Luciferism, this American patriotism did not slow down even in 2025. As you see, your Central Intelligence Agency and Federal Bureau Investigation tirelessly are looking for the proofs that would secure a good status, a well-being between the relations, between the Eastern European relations and United States of America. You can see they continue to search desperately for the proofs about the paranoid schizophrenia, about the mental illness that United States of America have awarded me with, together with Slovenia in 2012. It's fucking incredible. You can take a lot of time to show all those proofs about la la la. Or you can summarize the whole thing in one video, in one really, really bomb video, like successful video like this one. This case is not about the lack of the proofs as Americans were coming here. You must be nice with the police here. No, maestro. Proofs. You need proofs. You need proofs. No. The biggest problem of this case is millions of video recordings, millions of audio recordings. That's where the fucking problem is. The biggest problem about this case is the overwhelming amount of proofs. The biggest problem about this genocide case is that the United States of America committed so many crimes against humanity that it found itself in its gentlemanic way as the most interested party involved in genocide into a cover-up. With so much treachery, with so much backstabbing, with so much betrayal in return for what should have been seen as a patriotism, but I'm well aware I'm not an Aryan. I'm not one of those Anglo-Saxon German originates from United States of America that would classify for any of that stuff, this case became extremely inconvenient case of Josip Broz Tito in 2025. Today, the face of the Josip Broz Tito, you can paint one with American flag. Because this is what this shit is. This is what this stuff have come up to. The one motivated in extermination, in a genocide all the way, more than anybody else, is the United States of America with British. They became insane about this stuff, obsessed about this stuff, obsessed about the partnership with what they refer to as Eastern Europeans and Kim Jong-un and the Chinese Communist Party. You see, Americans will fuck with anything, with anybody, with absolutely anything to cover up. When it comes to the certain urgency, when it comes to the certain stuff, the Americans will go to fucking distance. Anything they write about, communists, this, that, genocide, drugs, import drugs, whatever the fuck they would do. Don't worry about when it comes to the case like this, Americans will go to the distance like you would not fucking believe to cover their face so the world would not see one for what it is. That much about that Polak crazy motherfucker that dared to pose in front of me like this. That's fucking incredible, man. Fucking incredible, the stuff that you came up with, that you actually dared to pose in my face with. This is just fucking incredible. I was referred to during MK Ultra as who do I think I am? You know, guys, I don't think about you much. You guys are scum, and you know it. This isn't about me being nice or me not being nice. This is foremost about your abusing the circumstances of something that you created, that you entirely created. You created this shit, and nobody else created other than you yourself created this stuff. Looking for excuse, and lately, as it became evident, without even having the excuse, delivering on a stage the most crazy motherfucker involved in this, criminal that was involved since my childhood. That's Donald Trump. And before him, he was Joe Biden, which is the same fucking shit, all the same garbage, the same ways, the same shit. Folks, 5,000 police officers at least were involved in this. No need to explain more about who the fuck you are in the United States of America, what this case was all about, and what at this point and stage you continue to push. And I'm gonna say, for the cost of my life, I'm just gonna say, you know, something. You're never ever gonna have me posing, never gonna be posing again next to me and lying to the people. You never ever, you already know that stuff. You know, and that's how you kill the people. You also have to demonstrate how strong you are, how powerful you are. You know, America does it, nobody can do anything about it. Yes, it can do. Yes, it can be done. I did it. I told America no. I am saying to America that when this case, if this case is going to come out, America is going to, for the first time, be seen for what America is. America talk about the worst, the most barbaric Soviet experiments that Soviets are doing. But this is fucking worse than any experiment I ever heard of. Human experiment. I never heard for anything so disgusting done under this guise of the psychiatry as was this case here. Even labeling human as insane, as mentally ill, investing into million different cases, people that you involve in it, to prove that he is mentally ill. I never seen anything like this, anything as disgusting as this. And I don't think that America can be leader of anything in this world due to ethics that I mentioned in this video, this must be the worst country in this world. If the world is not going to find a way out of this mafia clusterfuck that I explained in this video, the world is definitely going to go to the bits. The world settled for this kind of game due to financial gains. That's what the world feels. The world feels like financially, it's financially gaining. It's gaining something. If you're not part of the crime, you don't gain anything. So what America is doing is what American gentlemen are doing, they're basically enforcing Al Capone logic of gangster, just like a big gangster state. Is what you hear Russians talking about America like a big Russian, like a big gangster state. Yes, because Russia cannot afford to be as big a gangster state as America. But America is a big gangster state. In this video you can understand why America truly is a big gangster state. No? What matters is the message, American message to the world is whatever the officials, whatever the state writes on the paper, not the truth. So what's the point about the United States of America? None. The point of the United States of America is this is the same country as it was founded on the day one. It carries a disease that goes around and is just plundering and doing the stuff its own way, whichever way is beneficial to it. And the country is so strong through corruption, through the organized crime, criminality that is based right at the top, right at the White House, and then through the Congress. It breaks down through the law enforcement departments that has ability to, through the corruption, through the organized crime, to run the country in exactly the same way, same fashion as it was, as the Roman Empire was ran, I don't know, long time ago. Game and bread and kill one another so that the coin can spin and so on. That's the message of United States of America to the world. That's the way they do it. The patriotism is nothing. A patriotism, this is what you go, you take the wallet, you go out on the market, you throw and you buy the people and get the job done. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. If America have proven me anything is that I'm basically a worthless human being. And for whoever saw this stuff, and you have seen it, know that I feel like a completely worthless human being. Abandoned. Josip was totally clear to everyone involved, whether I was in Philippines or Japan or whatever country I was. They talk about what they're going to do to you. What they're going to do to you. And I was asking, who's going to do to me what? Who's going to do to me what? Obviously, United Nations is going to do to you. If United Nations doesn't want to see this case, then this is the picture about United States of America. The picture of entire world that United States of America have turned into. This picture would be impossible to picture just 30 or 40 years ago. America could not do this stuff like this. British imperials from London, they could not do this stuff like this. You would have a list of the countries that, even if they would not want to, yet they would have to express interest in it. Even if they would not want to, they would have to express the interest. They would have to express the interest about a certain case. The FBI people that were here claimed, psychiatrist Peter Kaus was laughing to me if I heard how many cases they have reported every day. Sure, I am just everybody. I'm a nobody. This is the message of America to the world in 2025. Maybe soon you're not going to see me anymore because I will be dead. But shit, I feel good about myself doing this stuff anyways. You as an American, you know how much I am American, right? You as an American, you can say this guy was American, right? You can say that he was American. You will be able to say this guy was from America, right? You're going to be able to say this guy worked for us, right? When you go to your military, to your police, to all your people, you tell them, this was an American, he worked for us, yeah, you saw me all over the military installations, all these military people that you saw me, that you met with, the police, all this. You fucking tell them, this is an American, this is America, this is the way it is, this is the American way. And luckily, it was other people around the world who saw you, scum, in my presence. So this is a very, very good beginning for a Soviet Union, number 2. You just go, you use the example like this, you demonstrate the people all over the Eastern Europe, and I guarantee you, it's going to be Soviet Union number 2. You spoke about who assassinated Kennedy. You spoke about the guy, how he assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. Now compare that with my case. Compare with my case and talk to me about the Lee Harvey Oswald. Talk to me about your psychiatry. Talk to me about the normal, not normal. Talk to me about the Soviet Union. Talk to me about the Kim Jong-un. For me, Kim Jong-un is just Kim Jong-un, just as I described. You're the one who's going to be a communist. You motherfuckers are going to go to the North Korea, you fucking scum, where you hijacked me for torture. You fucking scum are going to go to Iraq and to Iran and so on. You're going to have to find somebody else who, based on your extermination procedures, is going to see himself in a Kim Jong-un, in a communist and so on, that I unfortunately had to run from. Soviet Union, from Slovenia, from Yugoslavia and so on. You proved the point. You proved the point about the Lee Harvey Oswald, whatever the fuck you see yourself in. You need, Joe Biden brought some Americans here to watch me, the stuff that I do. Is Joe Biden playing, this guy is so mentally ill. He's so mentally ill that he drive the whole Russia mentally ill. And we're gonna need you guys come in his home to see him. I saw some military channel today, so that you can see the way he does the things that drives them crazy. Really? So, really, this is the video that explains how mentally I am. I'm very mentally ill. Yeah, you need another Biden. You need another Trump. You need another Bush. Because this is what the fuck you need. And for me, you need the grave, basically. You need the grave for me. Many fortunes to you, America, the way you do the business, the way you do the stuff. Many, many, many. Many to get, many like this, like myself, you hire. Many you kill, and you make it to the Russia. You're going to make it, you're going to make the whole world is going to succumb in front of you. Much luck, much power to you. I think you know what I think? You're going to end up like a fucking Brazil or something like that. You're going to go to the fucking toilet, the way things are going for you, America. Realistically, you have no nuclear weapons for the Russia. You have no nuclear weapons for the China. There's a whole pack of countries you have no ability to withstand if it comes to the nuclear strikes. Realistically, you don't have anything to guarantee anybody with anything other than knife in the back for those that stand up for you. People like myself. That's realistically what you have. That's where we are heading. It's a long video, and I don't know whether I did accent or I did not accent any kind of health emergency. My aunt from Austria have used this type of service to get ahead of other people in line. My cousin, who was thrown from Austria, who was thrown into the prison system, not on one occasion, but on multiple occasions, have used this type of system to bail himself out. I don't know what to tell you. If you think that this is the way to go, that this is how you pay for your bills, that's how it shall be. That for you to get your bills paid, for you to work inside of the same, maybe you shouldn't be there. You ever thought about that this type of offer, you shouldn't actually be inside in there, because with your presence in there, you're actually doing a damage to the real people? Did you ever thought about that you screw me up? Any one of you? Through the torture, that's number one. You caused the physical injuries, physical damage. You provided the support for the psychiatry. You're basically killing real people, real heroes out there. So that you can do the presence inside of some Polish fucking Sejm, or inside of your fucking whatever might be, whatever that might be. Numerous people were involved in it, with all sorts of injuries that they deliberately delayed. Then they came up on the news so that I could go and write, oh, but this happened already back then, and so on. We do this so you can identify it, and we see if you really remember MK Ultra, and so on. Okay, that's extremely misleading, disgusting. That's something completely different. A big gentleman. America is a big gentleman. Satan in disguise of the gentleman, I should say. Maybe you guys should think about whether your presence inside of the government, inside of the police, does more damage or does more good. Do you think that this is your job, this is part of your job? So basically hijacking, trafficking, molesting, killing people. Literally killing people right out on a bright daylight. This is a law enforcement. This is how you enforce the law. This is what pertains to the law. It pertains to those non-written laws. Is it a criminality, or is it hope that you offer to humanity? What is it? You offer the hope to the people, or do you offer grave of the brave to humanity? Not only to the people in the US, where you already known about grave of the brave. I mean, definitely you're not making impression on me. You're definitely not making impression different than what I stated in this video. You love to talk about the Hitler. You love to talk about the Stalin. You love to talk about the Nazi Germany. And you love to talk about the Soviet Union. I think for all the wrong reasons. I think because you don't want to face yourself inside of the mirror. I think that you are a Nazi Germany today in 2025. I think that you are a Soviet Union, for fact that you are, today, in 2025. You're nothing better than Stalin. You're nothing better than Hitler. You're just hiding your real face behind the issues that concern entire humanity. A common cause. A pledge of humanity that something like that will never repeat. With idea to kill real people. That's how you kill real people. This is the truth about America. And I don't want to go political about this stuff either. I don't want to take this stuff too far. Where do you even get, you little piece of shit, you fucking nobody as you are. You are 0. nothing, nobody. Where the fuck do you have a guts? And you knew about me who the fuck I was. I'm 53 years old. Let me ask you, how old are you? Answer the question, how old the fuck are you? Where the fuck you get idea to go and murder somebody through the psychiatry and pose inside of the Poland like a piece of hope for the Polish people, representing the ill? Where the fuck do you get an idea about the stuff like this? How dare you? Kid. You're 34 years old? 34 years you're old? You're 20 years younger than myself. Where the fuck were you, and what in life have you gone through to go and condemn people like myself to psychiatry? Where do you get an idea about that? And where does your country, Poland, your Polish people, where the hell do you have the right to come up with something like this? Who the fuck gives you the right to do that? Who gives you the right to do this? You talk. Who gives you the right to do this and talk about the Hitler? Who gives you the right to do this and talk about the Stalin? The answer to this question is only one. The country where I acquired a citizenship in 2000. And London. So, world must be aware of this type of legacy. Where the whole thing is going, heading. If everybody is doing it, it sure must not be a problem, right? It sure must not be a problem. I'm gonna stop the video here. I very likely, very possibly, I will die because of this stuff. Very possibly you will eventually get me killed. Very possible. But these are the words. They're going to be marked on your shoulders. These are going to be the words. They're going to be marked on your conscience. They're going to stay with you. You think you did a good job? You think you did a good deed? You think you are somebody, that you are something? I've seen a lot of bullies in my school. All kinds of stuff when I was growing up. There's only one thing sure enough. You're never going to prove that I'm insane. And these are the sad words of somebody you're eventually going to bury, kill, to prove your point. And that's exactly how you are going to prove your point. That's exactly how you prove the point. That's where you and I, we go separate ways. And you and I, I'm going to say to you, karma is a bitch. And bitch is going to find you back. Nobody that does stuff like this gets away with it. You're going to see. Karma is going to caught up with you guys for doing the stuff like this. Poland is a big nation. Poland is a strong nation. You're gonna see how big you are, how bad you are when the clouds come back to your place and bite you in the ass. Maybe you should go to a psychiatrist. Maybe you shouldn't go to the physician to get the surgery. Maybe your scum should fucking die. I would definitely be better off if you would be dead than alive. You're not providing any kind of evidence for me. You are no benefit to me. If you have to go kill people, literally kill people, to get ahead of other people that are in the line, maybe you should go to a psychiatrist. Why is it that people have to be killed so you can skip people and come in line further? Why the people have to be killed so you can get certain job at same? I rightfully can say that you should go to psychiatry. I rightfully can say that you are mentally ill and you are a threat to society. You cannot say that to me. You don't have other than certificate you awarded me with after 38 years of MK Ultra torture that I'm mentally ill. That's all you can. Mentally ill. Do you realize who you are, what I am, what the difference is between you and me? And I'm talking about the Polak here, in this case. Poland is a pigeon shit state. Poland is not as big as United States of America. And karma is a bitch. Karma is karma. When you think you grab God for the balls, if you're not big enough, sure enough, God is going to grab you back for the balls. In the world where you're a small pigeon, more likely than not, that's what I was trying to say. I don't care about people, Dachau, Auschwitz, cancer, bone cancer, who gives a fuck about kidney failure, liver failure. Why should I care about the drunks that were drunk, that drink every fucking day for the kidneys and livers to fail? I never smoke, I never drink, I never did drugs in my life. Why the fuck should I care about the people that throw themselves from the chimneys with the parachutes? Explain to me this. Why would I care about the people who do crazy stunts, crazy stuff? I don't do it because it's my choice, because it's my way of life. I'm awarded with a lunacy certificate. None of these people is awarded with any kind of lunacy certificate. When they get injured, when they get in problems, then they look for the way out. Then they look for the special ways, for the special accommodations, for the special. Why do you do the stuff like this to the people? Why do you do the stuff like this to the people? And I'm talking about United States of America here. Talking about the British, about the French, about Americans, about the Germans. If you have something to offer to the world, if you have offer not stuff that I have spoken about my needs, what the fuck do you have to offer to humanity other than Satanism, other than Luciferism? What exactly do you have to offer to humanity? If under this type of circumstances like this, after 48 years of torture, complete destruction of the kidneys, systematic beginning of the end, after 38 years of torture, throwing one into the psychiatric hospital, going past Josip Broz Tito, 1982, going past Yugoslavia, 1991, becoming a U.S. citizen in 2000. What the fuck do you guys, what do you people have to offer to humanity? You don't have nothing to offer to me. Alright, you labeled me, you really need it. You really needed Hitler. You really needed all these people. To somehow excuse yourself, obviously. But in that case, you're fucking worse than Hitler. In that case, you're worse than Benito Mussolini. Then you're worse than fascist Italy, Nazi Germany. He gonna offer to humanity. You got offer. I'll fucking tell you what it is. You don't have nothing actually to offer. In this video, I explain exactly what you have used me for. And make my word for granted. You don't even have what it takes to finish the war in Ukraine. You don't have what it takes to stand up to the Russian. You don't have what it takes to stand up to the China. That means only one thing. You negotiate the whole thing gentlemanly, like a gentlemanly, you know? Keep everybody happy, yeah? Keep everybody happy, like a mafia. Like Gambino family or something like this. Corleone here. American Merrick Garland, who was here, he was talking to me, be nice to your mama. Yeah, be nice to your mama. He talked like a crime boss. Because we can't be coming here. We can't be coming here. If you're not nice, you gotta be nice to your parents. You gotta be nice to them. At the same time, they were asking about, what did he want? What did he want? Like some Italian mobster, gangster or something. What do you want? What do you want? And then it went like really language from another planet. Something that had nothing to do with me. I don't know what you want. You got the imaginary friend, a special kind of design for you, imaginary amigo. Special kind of friend. because he's the only one that understands you is Merrick Garland, and he speaks the alien language that he gets to translate. And then you have another one, Mr. Massaria, that's asking, what do you want? What do you want? And Merrick Garland goes and he translates through the alien language. Something that had nothing to do with me. This is how they were coming inside of this house. Interpreting, misinterpreting the stuff. And what do you want? And it's already the Slovenian Igor Jursic who was here, who interpreted further to my parents how they communicate, how disrespectful it is, and so on. This is the way it was inside of this house. Factory of death. Factory of death. Satanism. Not that you don't have to be guilty to be literally lynched, killed through the lynching, through the public lynching. This is the way, exactly the way it's done. This is the second time I recorded this fucking video. The first time I was showing fists, I wasn't happy about that stuff. It's the second time I'm recording it, and this time I did it right. That's United States of America. If you want to know what United States of America, this is the United States of America. The gentlemanic way, just remember, the gentlemanic way. The more fine, you know, the more fine. Yeah, it is. It's the same shit, it's just a different wrapping. I'm not guilty for you, for your grandparents or your parents or you ending up inside of the Auschwitz, Dachau, whatever fucking place. I have no responsibility for you getting yourself in a fucking problems, health problems, all kinds of stuff, for you fixing yourself. You motherfuckers, you scum. Your bone cancers and your fucking health problems, you murderous scum. I had a health insurance. I tell you what, the stuff that you have done to me, past few medical examinations that I got it done, I'm extremely satisfied, extremely happy they haven't found any kind of problems, health problems with me. And we'll carry on this literally inside of the grave. So then you can see what kind of stuff that you have done to me. Oh, I do have a serious health problems. Deadly health problems. I'm probably not going to make it out of this. But the integrity, the way you want to enforce this, the way you are correct, the way you absolutely correct, the way you're certain that you can do this, that you can just go and this is the way and that's how we're going to do, is basically rewriting your state file. And the only thing you do is you waste your time on the internet about all this stuff and nobody see you and nobody hear you and stuff. That's the way the fuck I want. That's the way the fuck I want. One day, you're going to remember me. Because every day by the day is getting worse and worse. Situation is not going to get any better. Because these parasites today I was talking to you about, they literally live out of the sucking blood of other people. This is their way of life. This is the way it is. When Americans, British were coming here, they behaved like this was their property, like this was their home. Like this was not a home of my grandfather that was sold inside of the city. Like this was not a work of my mom and of my father at Kirka Pharmaceutical. They were coming here like they were the owners. And they were coming here like they were making me a favor. And they were coming here to make things worse and worse and worse, to cause more damage, more devastation, and they behave like they can't be even coming here anymore if I would not behave properly. Leaving me each time behind inside of the cell, which was 3 meters by 3 meters, right next door here, in my room. This is where I spend my life. Just going by day, complaining, praying to God that somebody would see me at the United Nations, at European Union, at ICC, at European Court for Human Rights, etc., etc., etc. And you gotta say how stupid the fuck I am, how naive the fuck I am. How naive the fuck I am. How naive the fuck I am. Because this is the real world. This is the world where we are at. And this is why these parasites are so powerful, so strong. Pass your constitution, pass your law, pass your police, pass FBI, pass CIA. They exist on the paper for the political agenda only. They exist on the paper just like you have US Marines or you have US Navy or you have whatever the fuck you have. They don't fucking exist at all. They don't exist. They exist on the paper. They exist somewhere imaginary. They exist. It's a police, it's a law enforcement, it's an Interpol, it's whatever the fuck it is. You know what it is? It's organized crime. It's an organized criminal network that Soviet Union, Eastern Europe, Chinese and others just did not have of their own. And it's unfamiliarity with it. It's ignorance in a way. And that's basically how they get by. They don't only get by, they gentlemanly, like real gentlemen, they assist their Eastern European partners, those, the so-called communists, they write so much about in the media.